I told my daughters that I was moving on with the separation anyway. I found out my husband cheated on me during both of my pregnancies 3 months ago. We used to be a happy family, and he's a great dad, but I can't be with him anymore. My daughters, 14 and 16, know about the affairs, but not all the details. They oppose the divorce and have threatened to cut me out of their lives if I go through with it. I found out that my husband cheated on me when I was pregnant, both times. I only found out 3 months ago, and until then, we were a very happy family, and my husband is a great dad. Our daughters are 14 and 16. They know the reason we are getting a divorce and that he had 2 affairs with 2 women, but not all the details. They are opposed to the idea of divorce anyway, and they threatened to never see me again if I went through with it because the offense happened so long ago. I understand that they don't want change and their lives in upheaval. I know all that, but I just can't be with him anymore. I can't even look at him. Nothing is working. Therapy is not working, and they are adamant about never seeing me again. I haven't seen them in 2 months. We rent a small studio apartment now, and we live every other week in the house with the girls and the other lives in the studio apartment. The girls refuse to stay with me at the house during my weeks, but they stay in the studio with my husband. Therapist said not to change the arrangement anyway, because I thought maybe I should stay in the studio permanently so they have more room to live. We bought our house 2003, and it has quadrupled in value, so we are going to be able to have 2 decent homes, even if not as big and beautiful as this one, but it is not like they will be living in bad conditions. Before all this, they were close to both of us and loved us equally. Now they only love him. Last week, they made it clear that if I filed for divorce, they will never see me again. I said I was never going back to him, and they said I made my choice, and they will never see me again. Relevant comments. Commenter. For your husband, it happened years and years ago, but for you, it happened 3 months ago. He's had plenty of time to get over it. It didn't happen to your daughters, so it's easy for them to brush it under the rug and pretend it's no big deal, and that you're the bad guy. I don't know what your husband told them, but your therapist is right. You need to stick to the arrangement. If you have not already, you need to get your daughters in counseling too. They need a perspective that is not your husband's or yours, and to sort through their feelings. While I can understand their pain, they are displacing it to the wrong person. You have every right to feel betrayed, to not trust your husband, and to be unable to love with him as if everything was fine. You found out about this, but I couldn't help it if I were in your shoes. To wonder if that's all there is to it, and to not trust that except for these 2, there weren't others. Commenter. NTA. They're young and scared, which equals poor decisions. They understand that their dad did something bad, but in child logic, you are the one causing the problem, because you are the one who wants to change things. It sucks, and it's unfair. Hopefully, they'll figure it out with therapy sooner rather than later. But no matter what happens, you're not the asshole. You're not doing anything wrong. Commenter. Teenagers are stubborn, and they think they can force your hand. If you give in to this, you would be setting an example that it's okay to submit to abusive or unfaithful relationships if someone applies pressure, not something girls should be learning as the norm. Tell them that in their lives, if they ever need to walk out to protect themselves, you will support them. And it's a shame they don't feel the same, but it won't change your intention to do the right thing. Story 2. Eta. I choose my family. My parents always choose my brother. It's been like this my entire life. As a child, I never put them in the position to choose. That kept the peace, and also didn't make me feel like shit about myself. I am a dependable child. I show up and always do the right thing. This is where things get tricky. My brother married into an awful family, extremely entitled, snobby, and just very mean. They have always hosted Thanksgiving, and it's just been something that my husband and I just go along with, really to keep my parents happy. The last 2 Thanksgivings, my sister-in-law's father has been incredibly mean to my 5-year-old, to the point where I reached out the day after Thanksgiving saying, if this continues, we will no longer celebrating holidays with them at all. We have seen them since, and it's been fine, but it's never been in their home, and that's when the father's comfortable enough to be mean. This Thanksgiving, my husband and I decide to plan a local trip for our family. We invite my parents and my brother's family. They all love the idea, but decline. Since my brother declined, my parents said that they can't pick between families, and of course picked my brother's. I expected it, and I'm not even mad about it. My husband and I booked our trip anyway. We are not going to subject our children to a toxic Thanksgiving. Well, today I got the group text message about Thanksgiving plans. I sent a very friendly text back saying that we will be out of town, etc. And now everyone is upset at me and blindsided, although we have been discussing it for months. They thought because they declined the trip that we were not going on it. We are. Eta. Relevant comments. Commenter. Enjoy your excursion. Soak in the peace. Yes. Make your child, you and hubby, a priority. Remember, them choosing him repeatedly really has nothing to do with who you are, but rather who they are. Thrive. OP. OP. That's a really good way to view it. I guess I need to work on not taking it personal. Commenter. NTA. Have fun on your trip. You don't owe them anything. Your child would rather spend time with just their parents on a fun trip than be dragged to a family party where they get belittled by others. Trust me, I know from experience. If they want to get upset at you for going on a trip that they declined to go on, that is their own problem. You're planning a cool, memorable holiday for your family, and don't let them stop you. Story 3. Aita, for asking my family to keep my pregnancy from the woman who gave birth to me. Okay, some backstory. Also sorry, it's going to be long. For the sake of the story and no confusion, I will call her Mother, even though I would not consider this woman a mother to me. I have not spoken to my mother in almost a year now. We have never really seen eye to eye, and I have always been much closer to my aunt and grandma than I am with my mother. I always felt like I would have to fight for her love or attention growing up. Our fallout occurred after many attempts of trying to make time for not only my family, but my husband and his family when I would be home for a weekend from work due to me traveling at the time. I had the last straw when there was a plan to go out to eat with my family. We all discussed days before, planned a place, a time, and everything to work around everyone's schedule. My cousin couldn't come at first, but she still made the effort to make time until my sister said she would get off work at that time and would not be ready. Well, we show up at my grandma's house, brought a pie for us all to try too, and of course no one is there but my aunt and my brother, after waiting almost 2 hours for them to show up. And I messaged in the group the chat saying we were leaving and left the pie in the fridge. I got frustrated, told my husband we can leave and have lunch with my brother instead. This happens almost every time I have made plans, and everything would revolve around my sister's time. We had originally left from my suegra's house and felt bad for leaving because we were all still having a good time. So of course my sister and I got into an argument because she decided to pick up a shift when she originally had the day off. She seems to always have something going on, shows up late, or just doesn't care. Anyway, my mother of course never has anything to say in the chat, but messages me privately to stop. My thought process was okay then, she's chosen her side, and I don't matter. My husband had said in the chat that it wasn't right that we all made the plans, and my sister was in the wrong. She then said he needed to shut up because he wasn't even part of the family. I then blew up. My husband asked me to calm down and leave it be, so I slept on it, and the next morning messaged the chat and was obviously upset. Message: I have been evaluating the strained relationship for a while, and I am going to be putting my distance for myself and my family. Yes, this is me cutting my ties. I might not be able to choose my family, but I can choose who I spend time around, and I'm not going to put up with hurtful behavior. I'm not going to tolerate anything to negatively affect my current family. It's apparent there's a lack of boundaries. People say what they want, do what they want, and respect is nowhere in sight. I don't want to argue. I don't feel like this is a healthy relationship anymore. Goodbye. Wish you all the best. All love. This all happened in May of 2023. Fast forward to January of this year, my husband and I find out we are pregnant, after trying for so long and honestly thinking of adopting at this point. Our first call was to my suegra, my grandma, my aunt, my cousin, and my brother. I had asked them to not tell my mother. Well, she found out after my gender reveal my husband's family threw for us in April, through a video I posted. She then got upset at all the family that knew and didn't tell her, even told my aunt that she didn't care that I told her not to tell her that she is her sister, and it was wrong for her to keep it a secret. So am I in the wrong to not tell her even though she had never tried to mend the relationship or apologize after everything that happened? Relevant comments. Commenter: NTA. You had gone no contact with them and had informed them that was the situation and why. Of course you didn't tell them about the baby. You were no contact. You aren't talking to them, so why would you tell them or invite them to a shower? Commenter: NTA. Your mom only cares because she's not going to have access to that future grandchild, and she may treat you better for a little while. But as soon as your sister has a kid, back to the back burner for you and your family. Stick to the people that have shown you and love and support all along. They're the ones who deserve to be in your low's life. They will show your precious low what love and family really is, not the toxic BS your mom and sister will bring to your low's life. Story 4. Aita, for telling my girlfriend to stop commenting on my eating habits after she told me to cut out red meat. I, 26M, eat a lot of steak, about 5-6 days a week. I also lift weights every day, and this is my main source of protein. My girlfriend, 26F, turned vegetarian about 6 months ago, and so she will never eat anything I cook, except for the sides: potatoes, veggies, pasta, etc. Most days I cook steak and pasta because it is easy to prepare. My girlfriend never commented about my eating habits until a month ago. I have noticed that she has been watching a lot of videos on YouTube, specifically about the dangers of red meat. She knows I eat a lot of steak, chicken, and lamb. It has been this way since we moved in together about 2 years ago. Initially, she started off by asking me whether I was concerned about the amount of meat I consume in terms of health risks. Later on over the month, she started bringing up how ruminants can be detrimental to the environment. Initially, I didn't say much about it and assumed she'll just stop. But as time went on, she eventually talked about animal cruelty, and today was the breaking point. Today, she told me I should cut out red meat completely. She brought up animal cruelty and tried making me watch videos on YouTube. I told her I didn't want to watch the videos, and even if I did, did, I wouldn't change my eating habits. This led into her talking about how people don't care about animals, animal slaughter, and how they're raised. This is when I got upset, because I have never once commented about her eating habits. I told her that if she doesn't want to eat meat, that's her choice, but she shouldn't force her beliefs on other people. I also told her since she's been watching those documentaries, her reality has been completely warped. After some arguing, she has now gone to bed and hasn't spoken much to me since the discussion. Relevant comments. Commenter: sounds like you both have strong opinions about diets, but you should both respect each other's diets. That's the only way to coexist with views this extremely different. Think about your future family, if you're planning on starting one, and how you would raise the kids. Would they be vegetarian until they can make their own choices? This is a whole lifestyle. On the other hand, having steak up to 6 times a week is actually unhealthy. You can switch to chicken, fish, beans, and so many other things for protein that won't put you at risk of heart disease. Communication is key anyway. I wish you luck, brother. OP. I respect her diet. Never told her to switch back. As for our future children, I wouldn't mind if they don't want to eat meat, but I don't want any specific way of eating to be forced onto them. Commenter: you don't have to change your diet if you don't want to, but red meat 5-6 days a week is unhealthy, and incorporating more chicken and fish is a good idea. I'm also vegetarian, of 18 years, but I agree with you that your girlfriend shouldn't be trying to change you just because she's changed her own diet and viewpoints, and so recently too. Who's to say she's even going to remain vegetarian for more than a year or so? People's diets are personal, and meat is the easiest protein source. NTA. Is it possible she feels unsupported in her vegetarianism and would appreciate if you made full meals she could eat? 1 veggie meal per week is a reasonable ask as a compromise. Story 5. AIT for disinviting a friend to a party after she was rude to me. I, 30F, went to a gathering a few months back, and my friend, 30F, was there as well. We have hung out in groups before, so I was just entering the gathering expecting to have a good time. I like to make self-deprecating jokes, and have always been the clown in friendship groups, so I'm totally fine laughing at myself. My friend suddenly started to make very mean comments aimed at me disguised as a joke. She got the group to somehow laugh at me, and the cute, funny anecdote I shared from my childhood suddenly became, "She is so stupid, let's laugh at her." When we would talk about serious things, and I would share my opinion, she would just burst out laughing like I said something, and then I asked, "What's funny?" And she would say, "Nothing, just the way you said it is funny." My other friend was showing me a video that really upset her, and I was trying to sympathize with her, and I said, "Yeah, it's a very sad clip." The friend saw the video and said, "Yeah, I think it's sad, but it's not as sad as you, me, are making it seem. You're just pretending so she, other friend, will like you." And then she laughs as if it is a joke. I was too stunned to speak. Other people also called her a school bully jokingly, and she just started to say, "Oh, I wasn't a bully, I was just cool." She also goes on to make fun of the gift I got my friend, saying it is ugly. She never behaved this way before, so I have no idea where this came from. I left the gathering thinking I am never going to talk to her again. She texted me apologizing for her behavior, so she probably knew she did something wrong. Last week, I had my birthday party, and every year, she was invited, but this year, I invited everyone in our friend circle but her. At the party, everything was great, but one of our friend brought up the fact that she was missing. It suddenly made me feel like maybe I overreacted, and maybe I should have invited her if everyone else was invited. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest ones. Have a great day.